I'm standing outside the luggage store getting ready with people who are supportive of the impeachment of the president to go across the street to the Warfield to do a silent vigil because Pelosi and Bill Clinton are across the street.
Michael, you hold this stuff?
My campaign is calling for the impeachment of George Bush, and there's a resolution on the ballot this Tuesday calling for the impeachment, Measure J, and Nancy Pelosi said that she does not support the measure, nor does she support impeaching the president. There's many, many, many of her constituents who I've spoken to over the last 6 or 7 months who really want to see the president impeached.
Okay, and from your standpoint, why do you want this to happen?
Well, I think that there's a couple of reasons I want it to happen. One is that I think that George Bush lied about the weapons of mass destruction and the reasons for going into Iraq, and clearly we have an atrocious situation there, and he needs to be held accountable and taken to task on lying. He's also, started to erode our civil liberties. He should be that should be called up as well. And at the same time, I feel like gutting FEMA and placing it under Homeland Security, and the whole debacle around Katrina showed an enormous lack of leadership, including criminal negligence, and that hasn't been rectified as well. So all three of these things I think Bush should be impeached for. I do not think, as Nancy Pelosi does, that we should all just get together back in Washington and everybody talk nicer to each other, and that is what she says over and over and over again. You know, D'Annunzio practically called for a first strike against Iran and Korea.
The same with Korea, North Korea, and Iran, that if there's actionable intelligence, we should, a preemptive strike is legitimate. I don't know if he said we should use nuclear bombs on them.
You know, it's been 500,000 people have died in Iraq. When do we hold our elected officials accountable?
When do we hold them accountable and say stop voting for war funding?
Nancy Pelosi's voted for every single war appropriation that's come up. We've spent $500 billion in Iraq, and you all are going to spend $250 to $1,000 to go in there with those guys when 500,000 people have died in Iraq. No, what is this? We're going to remember the 60s without a demonstration? We're remembering the 60s. That's what you all are doing.
You can go to her website, it tells you this stuff. No, we're not going to keep it down because people are dying in Iraq. We're not going to. Because you guys are going in and spending money on warmongers.
Yeah, it's all about the middle class at this point, the poor middle class. If you can impeach Bill Clinton for a blowjob, you can impeach George Bush for crimes against humanity. And it's completely specious to allow him to get away with that. And this is our morality. Our morality is going to go down that we impeach Clinton for sexual indiscretion, and George Bush got away with murder because the middle of the road Democratic Party wants to just move on and get along. Well, then why are you in there spending your money with that dog and pony show in there? She's against Pelosi's against. Pelosi's against impeachment. We all over the country, people are demanding the impeachment of George Bush. We just sent 12,000 signatures up to Pelosi's office. She refuses. She just keeps saying over and over again, I am not going to impeach the president. I want to move along. That is not a new direction for America. If we allow Bill Clinton to be impeached on a sexual indiscretion, and we let George Bush get impeached for destroying an entire country and an entire culture, and we move along after that, what kind of message does that send to our children about what's important? It's phony moralism at this point, and I think that many of the people inside of San Francisco are sick of the lack of leadership that Nancy Pelosi has exhibited in terms of the way we think in this city.